Stefan, you've been saying that for the last year, my friend. The euro is sinking. The euro is sinking. You got to sell the ship you bought for the sinking of the euro because it seems to not be sinking. Well, if you keep saying it's coming, maybe in 1,000 years it will come. But you can't just keep saying it's coming, and it's not there, right? So we're not 2018. Okay. Well, let's wait till 2018. We're still. I'm kidding too. Let's wait till 2018. I don't know. You know the story, right? If you keep shouting wolf all the time, when the wolves do come, nobody will believe you, right? So let's wait and see. Definitely coming. Let's go. So let's start. Dollar index. Am I recording? Oh, yeah. Good morning, traders. Welcome to the London webinar. Let's start. Dollar index looks like a consolidation, right? Be careful with what might look like a consolidation because we've seen this where they get that very slow start, and then they take off with this being some kind of a leading diagonal or something like that, right? So keep an eye on that. But if it is going to go more, right? Either two things we'd look for. This was all the consolidation and this is going down, or we're making a bigger wave here, go back up and then down. So let's see which one we're going to get. Euro. Okay, this was just somebody asked me this morning about this. So let me just, actually the person asked me this morning, it's already going up, right? From where I told him it should go up. That somebody wants to get rid of their euro that they bought a little higher. So take that out. Two things we'll look for now. If we get a buy setup, we'll take it. It's short term. I don't think this one is going to go. If this is the up move, I don't think that's all the consolidation. But if we get a buy setup somewhere here, we would take it, watch it when it comes to this level, put it to break even, see if we get more downside, and then go, right? So there's a good chance, because if this one actually goes from here, it's going to be part of this, a bigger part probably in the daily of this up move. This consolidation here is not enough. We don't have divergence here. So I think there's going to be more consolidation. Time-wise also, you can see if we're taking this as the impulse, this consolidation is small. So this consolidation will be internal, come back for the bigger one, and then go, which means that bigger consolidation will still come, right? So what you're going to wait for is a buy setup. Let's go. We're in the 1 hour. We can look for a short-term buy setup if we get it. You probably don't want to buy now if you're not in the buy. Wait for it to break out. You got to wait for it. If you didn't wait for that breakout and you bought earlier, you see what happens. You probably take break even. Better do that, because there's a good chance they might just do this. I don't think they're going to do that. I would like them to break. I'd like them to pull back, go for this one, and then come back, maybe something like this, and then we are ready for go if they're going to go up. If this is going down, what you're going to find is you're probably going to find this one more here, find one more there, and then you could find a correction before it drops, some kind of a bigger correction before it drops. So is it a slow start to the downside? Which means when I say slow start, we're actually looking for some kind of a lower degree, some kind of a WXYZ or a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as a leading diagonal, expanding or contracting. So when we start, sometimes you don't want to go into the details of that. You let it form and then you wait for that sideways and then you sell. So right now we don't really have anything. It's not a buy or a sell. Just wait. Pound definitely going to go up and tag that top. It seems they're trying very hard to do that. So I would not be surprised if, if this finds its way to the top there and then down, right? You can see the divergence. You can see the internal divergence. You can see this divergence. You can see that. You can see all-time divergence. You go into 4 hour, you have divergence. You go into daily, you'll have divergence. I think if we go into daily, would the daily show one piece or more? Well, the daily is going to show you one piece. You wouldn't see it 4 hour. You can see divergence in here, and you're getting internal divergence in there. So I don't think this is a problem. I think we should start looking for sell setups. As soon as that top is broken, we can start looking for sell setups. I hope they do that today so we can have the whole week to sell it. Aussie breaking, but if you're going to sell this short term, right, this was probably going to be like a short term trade. I tried to get a short term trade on Friday. Did not really go well. I end up being upside down a little and trade. But like I said, I'm never worried about it. I got out of this upside down one for positive. So this one I could get. I also took a buy and the buy disappeared from my account. I don't know what happened to it. So I'll have to check that with my broker. I'm pretty sure I didn't close it. Could be my memory, but I'm pretty sure I didn't close that. looking for it this morning and it's not there. So we'll see what happens there. So let's see what happens in here, right? I think we're going for consolidation. I don't see this piece as a bigger consolidation as yet. Right? I cannot see, let me take out this one. I don't see that as making a bigger consolidation as yet here, right? If this comes back to this level here and then go up, well, then we will have one more here. And depending on how this goes, we will decide whether this is going for the deeper pullback, right? I don't see it coming as yet. I see they can drop this one more. Because in here, we do have some divergence, but it's not very convincing. And within this move, we had like 1, 2, 3. You see that? We had 1, 2, 3. So I'm not sure they wouldn't make a 1, 2, 3 drop here, give us divergence internally in this piece, and then start that move, which means it's still going down, but not aggressive. So, you know, we'll wait and see what happens. I don't think you have a trade set up for a sell. We haven't broken that up, so it's not a sell. If this comes down, don't sell it. And we don't have a buy setup as yet, which means if I'll be buying, I will allow this to come back here. And on the way up, I'll buy on the break of this structure, right? That will convince me that now they're going. And this might just come here and turn again to the downside, right? If that is the case, we'll get break-even trade. So let's see. New Zealand pulling back again. So far might just be a pullback, right? This might just be a pullback. We can't confirm anything else because we're still in the downtrend. But there's interesting on the daily in the New Zealand that I noticed, right? I was looking at it over the weekend. And remember when this piece was coming down, it was a little mess for us. We always wonder what was that sharp move that didn't, you know, when they broke out, didn't go anywhere, didn't consolidate and continue. As a matter of fact, it dropped, right? So it was a little confusing. But if you look at it now from this, like probably even from the weekly, you'll probably see it much better. You start to clearly see that these are two very sharp moves going up, right? This piece. Very sharp moves. And they actually have a three-wave structure in the middle there, right? So like this wave, this one have more waves than these would normally have. And I'm thinking, well, possible A, possible C, right? This one has some waves inside, 1, 2, 3. This is making 1, 2, 3. So there's a good chance that this could go back up for one more if this is an expanding flat. This goes back up for one more, and then we come down. We will keep that in mind that it's possible to make one more up, right? We know this is 1, 2, 3 for that one. This could probably go make a 1, you know, make a 2 here, make a 3 there, and then come back down. Nobody says that's not, you know, that will not change the bigger structure, but it's very possible. So what we'll do is at the bottom here, we start looking for divergence here in the daily, and I think we have divergence there in the daily. Internal divergence on this piece, at least we are getting here. And on the 4 hour, you will clearly see the divergence between this and whatever is happening right now. And this is not going down aggressive. It's still going down, right? It could still go more, but it's not going down as aggressive as we want. It's not moving like this one. They're making pullbacks, they're making pullbacks, they're making pullbacks. At some point, it's telling us that, you know, there isn't enough momentum to push this to the downside. So more upside is possible, even just for a deeper correction. So if it's going to be for a deeper correction, this is the top. This would be the trend, 1, 2. We'll have to come back for at least a deep correction like this. So it's going to be something at least like this, maybe flatter but sideways. So if we're going to go for a deep correction, we could go for that. We could go for this, right? It could either be like this. It could be up. We don't know which way it's going to be. But something like that has to happen. So we'll keep our eye on it. If this is making, I don't think this is making because this is not a very sharp wave up. So I'm not looking at this as a possible, you know, expanding flat for downside or running flat for downside. Maybe, but I'm not looking at that possibility because this one is not very aggressive. If that was a sharp move up, we would make that, you know, that call that is possible. So there's a good chance we're going to get some upside also on this one. Let's take this off. There's a good chance we're going to get some upside. I'm not sure this is the upside because we don't have divergence here, which means we could get one more down. You have one piece, you have a deep correction, you got one piece, you get a deep correction. You could still get one piece more down, give you divergence here, and then watch this go up. So if we get a sell set up here today, if this breaks to the downside, if it breaks here, we sell, we take profit, and we watch for upside. If this is going to continue to go up, they've got a little pullback there, they've got to get another little pullback here, go give us another little pullback, a bigger pullback here, and this becomes your buy, right? Something like this we'll be looking for, and that becomes your buy setup. So if this just takes off, any pullback will be a buy, right? If this just takes off, any pullback that gets a flag we'll buy it, right? So since it's not going down sharply, we expect for the correction below the big trend line. Yes, possible, exactly. Below the big trend line, or if this is a big expanding flat, it's going to make a total up move. We don't know which is yet. Considering those two sharp moves in the middle, once we see those, we are always on the caution side. That is possible to the upside, right? Yen. Coming down slowly, but you got to be careful now. We have divergence here. We have divergence. This move may be over. Right, that move might not go anywhere further. We did make a low here, see? They did break that little one there. They broke that little one. They make a low there. You know, there's a good chance they might want to go up. We can't confirm that as yet. We don't have a sharp impulse that says it goes up. So I'll allow this to actually do that. Make a deep pullback, and then we'll start to look for that one. There may be an impulse and a correction here, but it's pretty small. You probably don't want to do that. It might be a little too early. Right? We're going to look for more upside. I'm not convinced that this is totally going down. If that is the case, what we wait for is if this makes a deeper correction. Just a corrective structure, not an aggressive move, but a corrective structure, we'll look for sell setups. So first we'd look for a buy, and if it turns out it's a correction and not the impulse to the upside, we'll get out of it, right? And we'll look for sell. So let's wait and see here, 1 hour. Nothing there as yet. There's a 15-minute probably setup here, but I don't think you want to go with 15-minute setups, right? I don't think you want to go with this. Right, that's like a 15-minute setup there. You got one there. Why you don't want to go with this? Well, this could probably just do that and come down back. That's it. It could do just exactly that and go right down back, and you'll be trapped in a 15-minute trade. So wait for the hourly. Let that finish go, and then we wait for the hourly setup. Here's CAD. CAD is coming down, and I think we could actually see more downside here in the CAD, at least one more impulse at the downside. I'm not looking for upside because we are considering this one up. We're considering all of that, the correction, and that one up. That tree is finished, and we got divergence. So whatever should happen here should bring it down beyond this trend line. If this is a bigger correction, we should get some more in there and then downside. If they're going aggressively down for another impulse, you might not get very much more. You could come here, then make a correction, come back here, and probably keep going down. Because remember, we're looking for an impulse to the downside. Right? We're looking for an impulse to come, probably, I don't know, one more impulse for this distance, and then we'll see what happens, because we're going to look at 1, 2, 3. Right? We've got 1, 2, 3 up. Now, this could go a little farther and maybe still go back up. Right? So if you get a sell setup here today, would be a good idea, but we don't have one right now. We do have a sharp pullback. That's not a sell setup. So if this comes down here, go back up there, well, now you get a sell setup. This becomes a perfect sell setup, and that would be a good trade for us. So wait some more. We can look for a sell here. Swiss is giving you another sell setup, at least one more drop, and this could be a nice three-wave structure, as a matter of fact. You're getting it. You can take that sell setup. We'll watch it when it breaks this low, how far they go. Right? When it breaks that low, we'll see. Remember, we're considering this a 1, 2, 3. So, you know, this could stay here for a while and then drop, which will make better sense for us if they do that, right? If they don't break out now, but rather than, you know, do something like this, this would be a good trade. That little breakout will not really mean anything. This would be the better trade for us. So let's wait and see. Silver coming down, and silver, the structure is a little more clear now. You can see that. We closed our silver buys this morning because we were positive in them. And I think this one is going to go down a little more, so you can see it pretty clear. You got an up move, you got a down move, and you got an up move. I think it's pretty clear now, right? Put it in the 4 hour, you can see that much clearer. Remember when these sharp moves starts to happen, what we said? Watch them there, something is going on. So this got a sharp move up, you got a sharp reversal, you made a B, you're coming up for a C, you broke the top. You're expecting this to make a flag, and we're looking for a downside here. You can sell that one. Break this low, but not break this low, right? Those are the two lows we are looking at. We're not expecting them to break because we're still looking at this as the B wave, the A wave. And that means you can look at this to come back here, something like this, go back up there, break that top, making an A, a C, which means this is your buy area, somewhere there you're buying, and then you're selling back here because we're expecting that to go back down. Put it in the daily. We'll expect this to come back down. This would all become the A, B, C for the B. You can expect this and you can expect this, and then you can look for that. That is if all of this plays out as flats, and if they all play out as regular flats. Now, you're wave traders, right? So you're not expecting it to go exactly like that, but you have an idea as to which leg next is coming. Would that leg be a regular flat, a contracting flat, and whatever that will become, you should be able to identify that. They said, okay, we were expecting a regular flat, but we got a contracting flat. Now it's going. We were thinking this was going to make a flat, but it's making a triangle. Well, in this case, we're not expecting any triangular pattern anywhere, right? So this short trade here might be a nice one for today. We can probably get that one up tomorrow. And then by the end of the week, we should get this. If we get that, that would be a perfect setup for a buy for the upside, right? This would become 1, 2, 3. Now, that's classical if it happens. But most times, those are the moves you're still expecting. How they will happen, what will be the next move to the upside look like, we don't know. But this is a good sell setup. So if you get a sell here today, you can take that trade. At least to this low, if it's a regular flat. If they drop sharp, go for a contracting flat. But I think you'll get break even in that case, so it's no big deal. Look for a sell setup, which means this one should go down too. Same here, move up, 1, 2, 3. We saw those two. Remember, we said that's a classical one of what the CAD looks like. We expected them to go. They did break the top there. So we thought, it's going to go down now. And then it came and make one more up, and then you got 1, 2, 3, and then said, okay, well, now it should go. But it doesn't have to go now. That's the thing about it, right? If you get a sell here, they can come here and go back there. And this becomes a 5-wave structure. And then they actually go, right? So if you're looking for a sell setup, make sure you get a sell setup. That's not a sell setup as yet. Wait for it to come down, wait for it to make a flag, then sell it to this low, break this low and go back up. Now, how it's going to come down? No clue. Is it going to come down like this one? I don't know. Maybe they come down with one single fast move and that's it. We'll have to wait and see. But you can put the buy order here if you want. Well, I would not put it in gold, but I'll put it on silver, right? Euro Oz, bouncing around here. And remember what we said, if they start doing that, if they start like making, this, don't worry, they're still going to come down, but then they may come down a little short of what we expect them, making some kind of a pattern here, move down and then up back. If that is the case, we'll have enough time to make the decision that this is a C wave down and we're looking for more upside, right? There's a good chance that this might also be the start of the downside. Anybody's guess, right? This is hard to tell which part this is going to go because either they're making a C wave and I will still look at that as a C wave because this is not breaking. It's getting aggressive, but it's not breaking. It's still not very aggressive as we would expect, right? So I'm still looking at an A, a B, and I'm expecting this to be a C now, not more of an A, B, C, but an A, B, C this way. But we'll see if this turns out to be one of those weird patterns, and we have seen them with an A, a very long B wave, and a C wave that does like that, and then go back up. We've seen those patterns, right? We'll be ready to buy it here because we're expecting this. So if we get that, we will know that is what it's doing. Yeah, if you see a flag, sell, but there isn't a flag there right now. If it makes a flag, we will sell. On the 1 hour, let's see if you're getting a flag for a sell. Not so much if you like this one. If you didn't get the flag, you're not selling. So this might be the first wave up. If you get a wave down and you get another wave up, that's your flag in the making. And now you wait for it to break. Because if you didn't wait for this to break, 1, 2, 3. And if you didn't wait for it to break, you see what happens. It went up. So who says this can't make a new high and pull back and make a new high? Can we do something like that and then come down? I think we've seen that pattern also, right? It's not like we haven't seen it. So wait. And I don't think you want to buy this here now. You're in New Zealand coming down too. Same thing. We thought they could make some noise here and then come down. Well, they're actually coming down nicely. So what you want them to do is make the flag here. Confirm that flag, and maybe not a very big one, by the way, and you may start looking for sell setups. So they may not oscillate there anymore because they're breaking out. You can see they're breaking out right here. So not expecting any more oscillation here. So just wait. If they give you a flag, we go for sell setups. Euro yen did break the low, and going up very sharply. So let's relook at this structure. Once they break that low, I'm not thinking any more upside, because this becomes, if they're going back up, this is a really huge structure, and we'll have to relook at how we look, relook at the entire structure to see, because we know this is one, we were looking at this as a expansion in here, some kind of an expanding flat. So 1, 2, this one is supposed to be the B wave up with an expanding flat in the middle there, and a C wave here, right? If that is the case, this is supposed to go up. That's what it did here. 1, 2, 3, without breaking the low. They broke the low, so that changes everything, which means this comes to the lower one. We can look at that. This is probably the last impulse up. This would be your smaller flat there. So it's gonna be more like this. That's your last impulse up. First impulse, 1, 2, 3. This might go down. So what we look for now is any consolidation here. It's a drop, right? That should confirm it. I don't think they're supposed to make such a big kind of a consolidation in there, which means we have to relook at the whole structure, right? So we're making a trend now to the downside. Let's see where they go. Put it to the 1 hour. And no buys as yet. Absolutely no buys after they broke the low. What you're going to wait for, I'll take this off. This would have no value right now. Take that off. And wait if we get a corrective structure here. We look for more downside. Right? If we get a corrective structure, look for, we don't have a buy setup there as yet. Euro Chief also hit the bottom and pull back very strong, which, it doesn't fit in the pattern we're looking for, right? Because we're not expecting that to go back up as yet. Expecting this to come back down. We did break the top, we get divergence, and downside is what you're looking for. So let's wait to see that sharp move up, how that changes. It's not a buy, that's for sure. So if they make a flag in here, we look for a sell, a correction, more not a flag, more of a correction. If they just retest the top, you can't do anything, including buying it. You shouldn't be buying that. Right? There's no reason why you should buy this, because you didn't have a buy setup, which means the same speed with which it goes there, it could come back down. Right? Running flat, possible. We could look at that as a possible running flat. Let's look at this in the 4 hour. This whole piece is still giving us divergence, even if that goes up back in this piece. If this is going back, you see you still get divergence. We don't even have a crossover here as yet. So I'm not quite sure what that big correction here is doing, just like the big correction in the euro yen. We wait a little more. Wait for it, they'll tell us. EuroCAD, this one I can see going back up. You got a nice tree wave here now. See, this one is perfect. And I can see this going back up there. And the question is, do you want that buy? Nope, I think we'll get divergence and then we'll start to see the downside. EuroPound, I can see this one going up. It's not going up, but I can see this one going up one more, right? We'll get this and then we'll look for downside, right? This is almost perfect. So I can see that happening. Let's see if we're gonna get it. You may even get a buy setup if you want, short-term buy setup here. You break that structure, you make a flag like they did here, and then you get the next one. You see the break of the structure, you got a flag here. The break of this flag is your trade. So they come here, they make a flag, and you take the break of that flag, that's your trade. Get out of the trade, take profit, and look for downside. How far high they can go, we don't know. We wouldn't look for the 270 here because we broke the low. So we'll look for a simple expanding flat. Pound Chief, why is Pound Chief so high? Where's Pound Oz and Pound New Zealand? We'll do the Pound Chief and then we'll go. Pound Chief, we're thinking that this is making some kind of a flat here, but it's going back up. So let's see in the 1 hour. We were supposed to wait for is a flag. If you took this flag here, let me see, was there a buy setup, sell setup here? You could have got a sell setup here actually, because I think this one went 3 sideways. So you're either out of the trade here, but if you put your stop here, which is the same percentage-wise risk, right? Depends on where you put your stop. So if you took this, that's a loss. You'll have to look for another sell setup. If you're still in this, what you will do now, anybody took that trade? So that I'll explain how to manage it. Nobody did, yes. Where was their stop? On the first one or in the second one? The lower one or the higher one? Oh, you got out for break even on the second one. So you're in the higher one, great. So here's what you will do. If this is going to continue to go up, it will have to make a correction. So when you put your stop here, this starts to make a correction like this. Depends on how far that correction comes. You might not get a break even, but you'll get a deep enough pullback to get out for a very small loss. If you see it doing like that, take the loss and then you look for the buy, right? Whether you want to take the buy or not. But if they just reverse this pretty fast, stay with it. You might get a fast up move again and then go. Right? The number of fast moves in here would be downside. So fast move up doesn't mean anything. One move by itself doesn't mean anything. Wait for that pullback. And that gives you the exit strategy for a very small loss. So let's say you're risking 1% or 2% here. You got in here and you're risking 2% there. Let's make it easy. You're risking 2% there, right? It goes there, you lose 2%. It comes back here. You close the trade here, you lose 0.2%, and you can still get a buy to the upside if you want, right? I don't think it's going to make a buy to the upside because this is sharp, this is sharp. We will still have to wait to see what this whole piece is doing. If they're going for an expanding flat, might make sense, pull back here, go there, break the top, make an expanding flat, give you divergence here, and then start to come down. Longer term is still downside. Hang Yen broke the low. And this is where you need to get out of the trade, right? Because once they break that low, you get divergence, right? You can see the divergence here. You can get divergence there. And that means this is where, if this structure wants to go up some more, this is from where it could go. So we would look at this as one piece. We'd look at that as one piece. And we're getting the divergence internally there. This could probably go back up as another one like this and then come down. That will just give you 1, 2, 3 within this structure. We will not break that. I don't see them going to break the top again because that pattern doesn't make a lot. Unless it's a contracting flat, and then there's no sense, we'll have to relook at what the B wave looks like. So I still think if this comes up some more, it's still going to give you downside. You can pull this trend, take off that now, and pull this trend all the way to the low. Sometimes Peng Yen does have that tendency to go very slow. Pull back, go very slow, pull back, then make another consolidation and drop. If they're doing that, eventually in this, what you're going to see is a number of waves. Most times it's a W, X, Y, X, Z, or most times it's going to be like a W, an X, a Y, and then an ending diagonal, right? Or a leading diagonal for more downside. So we'll see which one they give us. Get a correction and then they drop. So right now all we have is 1, 3, 5. If you look at it this way, we have this structure. Let's make an assumption that was the correction. You got a sharp move down, a pull back, a sharp move down, a pull back, a sharp move down. So that's a 5-wave structure. We don't have divergence. We have divergence here, but we don't have divergence. We have divergence. See, this one is longer than the middle one. So that's a problem. It's not continuous divergence. And that means I'm not looking for that kind of, which means a crossover here is likely. Let's go in 2 hours, for example. 2 hours. And I'm thinking we can probably filter one out of these out. Let's go 3 hours. Yep, 3 hours, you get 1, 2, you still get that. You still get this piece in the middle. Let's see how we fit that. Not fitting very much into anything that I can see. Because this by itself is not making any kind of flat, right? If we're looking at that as a 1, 2, 3 for a flat in the middle, this one didn't really go back up, right? To make that the impulse. So we'll have to still see if we can filter this out. Then it will be more like 1 here, a bigger correction. And then you get this piece, right? So let's see how this develops. But right now it's not, this is looking clear for an ABC if this one had gone back for a C. But it hadn't gone back for a C. So we wait now and we see what happens. If this develops more, if this piece keeps developing more like this, we'll go with this 5-wave here. If we get 5-wave here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that will be the leading diagonal part, right? Let's see how it develops, or the ending diagonal part of the whole structure. But right now, you don't have a sell setup, so we wait. And we don't have a buy in there. No buys, no sells. CAD, we can start to look for sell setups, right? We did make a higher high here, so this would be the trend line. So you'll be more like this one, pull back, that one, pull back that one. Somewhere in here, you got an expanding flat. Let's see that on the MACD. Put it in 1 hour. We don't have any crossover. I don't even see this one. Maybe there's a tiny crossover there. This one here, and then all of this will be one piece, right? This piece. So we'll either 1, 2, 3. We could get a 4 and then go for a 5, or it's over 1, 2, 3 divergence. Watch this piece here when it comes back to this level. Wait for a breakout, wait for a flag, and then go. Because if they just stop short here, they will go back up for one more. Right? More like this piece. See? They stop short and they go back for one more. So probably wait. Let's wait to see where this goes. But it's looking like a sell setup. I'll take this off. That was the news event. We're looking for a possible sell. Aussie, New Zealand, let's see this. Nothing here. It's not going up. It's not going down. Let's just leave it alone for now, right? Let's take this off. We finished this move to the downside here, right? But this is not going up aggressively. If you were in the trade, you got out for break even or you took small profit. This is not coming down aggressively. So we don't have a sell setup either. Wait. Aussie CAD. We're getting some corrections, and I think it's mostly going to be some corrections. See this? I think we're getting just some corrections in here. We might see this go a little more, right? If we get a correction in here. If they start to fall, do we want the sell setup? Do we have a sell setup here? Not the best one, I'll say. I'll put it like that because I think this one is going to go up some more. We'll wait to see whether if they do something like that, we'll look for a sell. And if we get something like that, we'll look for a sell setup. Aussie yen, let's see what we have here. This one starts to get aggressive now. It was going down very slow in this little piece there, and then it just dropped, pull back, drop. So now we wait for any confirmation of downside. Probably a little bigger correction would work perfect. That will give you sell setups. We don't have buys. And this might turn out to be the start of a longer term trade. We don't have enough confirmation to make that, make that decision. But once we start to get more downside, breaking out of this and not turning back, that will confirm it, right? Oh, Skip Pang, Auspang, New Zealand, we'll go look at them. So watch this here. Any pullback here, that will be a sell setup. Some more up. I think we're going to finish that move, and then we start to look for sell setups. If you want to buy setup here, it's probably not worth it. If you took this one from early here, or you took, I think there was one more early one here. If you took any one of these, you're okay. Probably this is the one, or this one. If you took that, just keep it until it comes here, put it to break even, and then we start to look for sells. Because I think we'll have divergence by then. Yeah, we'll get a lot of divergence by then. You can see that, right? So let them finish that move, and then we come. Just like the pound dollar. That one more impulse up and then it's over. Pound New Zealand, probably one more impulse up. We still have divergence here. Maybe they're going to just push a little more up in this one. And then we're going to look for downside. You may even see 1 hour divergence in here. Let's go see if we're going to see 1 hour divergence there. Yep, you might get 1 hour divergence when they push up more. They push one more up, you get divergence here. So yes, I can see one more push. Actually, if they make a flag here, if they make this flag, by the way, you saw that was a good one. If they make another flag here like this and go for one, you can take that trade. Take profit. Probably 6 to 70 pips. Take it off, take profit, and then start to look for sell setups. Longer term sell setups. Aussie CAD, we did this with. Aussie Yen, we did that with. Aussie Chief. Okay, if you're in the sell, take profit because it's not going anywhere. They'll probably consolidate for a while. If they consolidate, we'll look for more sells. If they bounced up, they did make a low here. So if this is going to go up for one more, maybe something like this. If it's going to go up for one more, we'll have to wait for a flag before we buy. New Zealand yet. Oh, probably don't want to buy now. No sells anymore. They'll probably make a flag and finish this. We'll check this to see whether we want that trade. But once they finish that, we'll have to be careful because it's likely they're going to go back up. Very likely. Watch all the yen pairs. I think all the yen pairs are showing possibility for that upside will be, except for the euro yen. Hong yen is showing that possible upside. New Zealand yen is showing the possible upside. I think Aussie yen is also having that chance of a correction. It could go up, not as a thing, but as a correction here. So we can watch for that. New Zealand CAD. Let's see what happens there. We have divergence, huge divergence here actually. So they completed this piece with a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave structure. We did break the low, so we'll get an input. This was the impulse to the downside at 1, 2, 3 here. Wait for it. We don't have anything in this right now. I don't see the sell setup. I don't see a buy setup. We have a move up and that's it. We have this move up. So unless it corrects here to give us another move up, we wait for that. Or they make a bigger correction here and then they go down, we wait for this. So either way, we're just waiting in this one now. New Zealand Chief, probably wait. That upside was a short one. They did give you 1, 2, 3 here. If you took that trade, I don't see, maybe in the 1 hour there was a sell setup, let's see. Not much of a sell setup. I think that may have been a news-driven one. That's a nice news-driven. Here you're getting another consolidation. More like a 1, 2, 3. So if they go down again, you can sell. If this goes one more, might be a good sell setup. Wait for it to break out. If it confirms that breakout, you get one more sell. CAD yen, I think also could go up some more from here. Right? We broke the low and we do have divergence now. I think we have internal divergence here and divergence in the 4 hour. Oh, if that divergence is gone, that will change everything. It's not gone as yet. It's still there, still divergence. See that? We're lower, but we still have that. So let's see if that divergence goes away. For that divergence to go away now, what they'll have to do is they'll have to do this. You'll have to have a flag here. And we will sell. So let's go into 1 hour and see if we have that. Actually, they're making one. So that will be a sell setup. It's an expanding flat or running flat. See this? So that will be expanding or running. Let them come up some more here. We can either do this and sell or we can sell under the low. But you want it to go up some more, make an expansion, then you can sell in the top. If not, you'll have to wait for the break of the low to sell. Kachif, stay away from this. It's not really going anywhere. It's going sideways kind of, right? This piece. Might give you one more drop, but there's a good chance you could be doing this. And then come down. See? So wait for this. If you get this break, you can take the trade. Excuse me. Okay, guys, sorry about that. Let's go. Copper. Copper going sideways, you can look for a sell. It's an expanding flat, I think. You can look at this possibility here. If they make a bigger correction, let's see what it will look like if you get a bigger one. 1 up, 1 down, 2, 3. This is a 1, 2, 3 down here. You got a deep pullback. This could have been an ABC there. Let's see if we have divergence. No divergence, so you could still go back up. There could be some kind of a triangular pattern in the end of the day. You got 1, 2, 3 up, 1, 2, 3 down. You only have one here. So either that's the end of it, or they make one here, come back, go tag the top, and then start to come back down. Gotta look for a sell from the top if they tag the top and start coming back down, right? Might be some kind of a triangular pattern at the end of the day. See, they're making these sharp moves, like very sharp moves, like up, make a sideways, go there, make a sharp move down, make a sideways, go here, make a sharp move up, kind of expecting something like this, go back up there, and then see if they come back here, right? So wait for that. If they start to break here, if that's the end of it and they start to break, you'll wait for a flag here first. So US oil went up pretty deep. Didn't expect that deep. Expect some upside, but not that deep upside. So this, I don't think this is all. We have to see if we can filter one of these two. I couldn't show that in the weekly outlook, but we want to see first to know if they're equal. We want to see if we can filter them, right? That is this one here, not the bigger one. We're looking for that, right? That cross, looking for this internal crossover. So we'll go back to 12 hours. We have this, but we don't have this, right? So that means this one should come down some more here to confirm that one, because if this keeps going up from here, it's an extension of this wave, right? That will be that, and it can do this, and then you'll have to wait for a deeper pullback to go. So I think if we're looking at this wave here as a 1, 2, 3, we should see this come back here and then go, and that would make sense. This would be a good buy for one more up, give you divergence. So wait for that crossover there. So how do we buy into this? Two ways. If this makes a flag here for you right now, you can buy, because there might be an extension of this wave, right? If you don't get a flag, wait for it to drop here. If you get a sell setup, you can try it. If not, wait for them to come back here and then wait for that until we get the crossover, and then we go, right? I think it's very likely they can come back, right? It's very likely they can come back, but you'll have to wait and see whether you get anything in there. They might not even come back to the trend line. They may come back just about this area, making a flat pattern, like 1, like 2, like 3, and then go. Right? That will give you the crossover. UK oil, pretty similar structure, right? So wait, you can filter these two to see whether you have them on the 12 hours. Let's see. You have this one, but you don't have this one. Same thing here, right? So one more downside is possible. No trade setup there right now. Natural gas, yep, you're getting the break, so you can look for that sell. If you're getting this sell with an entry order, keep a stop above the top so that you can exit, because nobody says they can't go back there and do that. So keep it above the top. In this case here, if you're waiting for a sell setup, you got to wait for them to break, make a little flag here, and then sell. They make those 1 hour flags for you, nice 1 hour flags, and then you sell it. S&P 500, I think some more upside is possible. I could actually see this here trying to go back up one more, right? That's a good possibility. So you look for a breakout trade somewhere there. If it is going to continue to go down, they'll just tag this low and go back up, making this structure something like that, right? Just probably tag the low and come back. So they can come down a little more, but I think right now this sell should be long term. You can take it. It's not, if they can make a very nice flag here and confirm one more downside to tag this low, you can take that trade and just take profit out of it, put it to break even. Okay, we're gonna have more sideways here. We got a 1 up. We have 1 down. We're probably gonna get 1 more up, and this would be great because that would give you a sense of downside, right? That becomes a flat, and we'll be looking for downside. Nifty. Nifty seems to be making a flag here. Not quite sure. Wait for that. If they make a flag like this, come back here and come down there, it will mean more upside. So wait for this to consolidate, give you a sense of direction. Okay, I think that's about it. We're 44 minutes. We can look at a few more if you guys want. Let's see which few more we can look at. I don't think DJI, somebody was asking for this yesterday. It's in a big consolidation here. See that huge consolidation? This whole big piece here. So probably stay out of it. Wait for some sense of direction. Turkish lira, let's see if we have the Turkish lira here. I think I had that one on. Nope. I was pretty sure I had the Turkish lira on. Not there. What else? ETH and XRP. We did those yesterday, but we can go through them back again. 4 hour. and daily. I think we're still in that daily pattern. If you look at it like a daily possible triangular pattern, which I don't think it is, because this is not no longer looking like, you may have making an attempt to break up, but you haven't gone anywhere, right? So 1, 2, 3, this will have to be your 4, and this will have to be your 5. That means you broke out, right? If that is the case, let's see if we can filter these 2 days. 1, and all of this is 2. So you may want to be careful of this actually happening. So if this is 1 and all of this is still one piece, there is a good chance you're looking at something like this. 1, 2, you might get a 3 back to this level as a 1, 3. You might get this going back up there, and then you get that one down there to complete that entire flat. So it might be a much more complex pattern than we think. Because if this is all one piece, that's the problem. Is this looks like an ABC, you may get one more down. It might go retest the stop here. Slightly make an attempt retest that top, come back down here, give you a sharp move like this one here. To this level. Maybe not even to that level, go back up. Give you a sharp move like this one here. And then give you a sharp move down like this one here. All right, this would be the B wave in the middle. This would be the B wave in the middle. And this would be the B wave in the middle. So you might be here for a while, trading up and down. So wait there. What is the next one you want? I think the XRP. I'm not sure what they're making in this one, but I doubt this is making 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I doubt that, right? Because if that is the case, they have to come here and then go back up. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have to come down and then go back up. So let's wait. If it's a contracting flat in the middle, it will have to come down and go back up. If they're making a contracting flat for upside at 1, 2, 3 to go up, doesn't look good for a buy. It looks more better for a sell setup. This piece here looks like if it breaks, you want the sell, not the buy. All right. Okay, let's stop the recording now. It's too long. I'll stop the recording.